You built an empire.
This is an empire.
Yeah, it's an empire. Very impressive. Very impressive. Yeah. So, you know, especially like you said, in our community, right? Unfortunately, there's countless people doing 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years, fed time, state time for marijuana, right? For marijuana. So now we're in a position where we can actually make money legally off of marijuana, right? So it's one thing, all right, because I get this question a lot, Instagram and people just in general, they're like, how do I get involved in the marijuana business? So you can buy stock, we'll talk about that, but you actually built a company, right? So can you just talk about that? Because I'm sure that there's a lot of people, I know for a fact that there's a lot of people that want to get involved in it, but they don't know how to go about it. They don't know licenses you have to do. They don't know, like, you know, it's just like, and that's the problem with our community a lot of times. We don't have mentors. Right. We figure it out as we go. Like, you know what I mean? That's why we make so many mistakes. Exactly. Because there's no mentorship. There's no blueprint to follow. So it's like, okay, I'm just gonna go out there.
Yeah. I think one of the things you like, and what you've done is like you've kind of laid a blueprint for people from what you've been saying. Like I remember watching the HBO sports special, and I was like, wow, this guy literally created a farm and went and planted the seeds himself. I think
that's dope.
That was dope. I was like, one of the best quotes I was like, you said, make sure you're an expert in what you're asking people to do. Right? So if I'm going to hire you, trust that I know what I'm doing. Right. You want to talk about the Harrington group?
Yeah, man. It's funny, bro. Like y'all said, man, like I don't really have like a financial background or any of that. Like it was literally like I just took my work ethic that I took from that, how I got into the NBA and played 16 years. Like, you know, my background, I didn't start hooping until I was a freshman in high school.
Really?
Pro out of high school.
Never played basketball before? Like
never,
organized?
Never.
Wow.
You know, my mom used to beat me one-on-one all the time.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
You know, like, even as a freshman, I was hard. I was the worst player on the team as a freshman, and I probably was like the 8th best player as a sophomore on my team.
You went from that to being the player of the year.
Like in 2 years. Like, but it was, I lived in the gym. It was work ethic. I learned like, and thank God I was able to get the results because it showed me what hard work can do for you. You know what I'm saying? And what I've done is I've taken that same approach into the cannabis industry. So like, if you go back into my office, you see I got a big plaque on my wall that say nobody without workers. You know what I'm saying? Like the reason why I played 16 years was because I swear every year, because I remember my mindset as a rookie. My mindset as a rookie was I was looking at the older dudes and I'm like, I'm taking their job. Like, I'm getting that spot. Like I gotta play. So I always remember that was always in the back of my mind as I got older in the league that these rookies that's coming in, these niggas are trying to take my minutes. You know what I'm saying? So, and I take that same thing with cannabis. I'm like, yeah, Viola may be popping or whatever, but like I don't sleep, you know, I don't sleep any better at night. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still constantly thinking there's another black company coming behind me that's going to try to claim the things that I've done, or either just regular companies. You know what I'm saying? So that's always my edge. You know what I'm saying? I always can constantly do that. But to answer your question, like what they've done, and I mean the lawmakers and stuff like that, because they have so many different people influencing their decisions. Because see, the issue that we have in cannabis right now is that the people that are actually writing the laws don't have any business acumen. They're just politicians. So they're writing these laws and putting these taxes and all these different things, and they're killing the industry. You know what I'm saying? What I think they should have did was they should have went to some of the people that were successful in the black market and used them as consultants. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a thriving industry until y'all stepped in. You understand what I'm saying? So that's that piece. But why it's tough is this. They're trying to monopolize the process, right? And like what you said, you know, our communities was, you know, most impacted on drugs. 85% of all black men drug arrests are cannabis related. You know what I'm saying? And we have no representation in the industry. Right now, with me doing what I'm doing and a couple other people, we represent 1% of the industry. Like, that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough for me to sit here and tell somebody, like, go do this to create ownership, because it's tough. It's like, you know, you look at New Jersey, some places we're very familiar with, or even New York. You know, some of the requirements was like, in New York was like, you gotta have like 20, 25 years of experience in farming or agriculture. Like, what black person in New York? In New York. For that long. You know, we haven't even owned land that long. You understand what I'm saying? New Jersey was, you know, you had to show $15 to $20 million in workable capital, part of your application process. You understand what I'm saying? So what black person can do that? I'm like, even I struggle getting people to put up money to have 20 in the account. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? That's what all the resources I have. So just imagine somebody off the block. And I'm not saying this to discourage you. What I'm just trying to give you is just like what's going on, right? Yeah. So how I look at it is like, you know, one of the things I want to do is I want to start incubating or whatever for the black communities, right? So what I want to do is I want to get licensed in every state, and I want to build facilities that are big enough that I can allow other black entrepreneurs that want to get into the space an opportunity to come in, perfect the crafts, whether they want to make CBD THC waters, whether they want to make THC mints, whatever it is. I want to give them the platform and the licenses, allow them to be creative and create products, right? That's one way that I feel like I can include more black people, right? Yeah. The other way is this, and this is real because my company right now, right, you know, I wish I had more black employees, right? But I promise you, when I put out these job opportunities online, through, you know, all those, I'm trying to blank.
Indeed and all those other
things. All that stuff. Yeah. They don't apply. Wow. There's nobody applying. You know what I'm saying? So, and I can't figure out what's the
these jobs like. What kind of jobs are they?
Whether it's, you know, whether it's working in the farm or in the grow, being a grower, being a packager, and this is going to be my point. You got to start somewhere. You got to put your ego aside if you want to get into this industry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I know so many people, bro. I probably know so many people that have started off as packagers that now own dispensaries. They're not black, though. You understand what I'm saying? Like they went through the whole process, learn every part of the business. You know what I'm saying? And then figure it out, because at the end of the day, what I will tell you is that if you do that, you're going to be valuable with somebody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could run into somebody that say, yeah, I've packaged, I've grown, I've this, that, and the third. Like, I'm hiring you ASAP. That's all the experience I need because of the way my company is kind of set up. We wear multiple hats. You know what I'm saying? Our attitude is like everybody do a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't have no problem going to clean the bathroom. Dead ass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I operate. When they see me doing it, everybody knows it's not beneath anybody to go and have to operate like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, sure. You know, so one of the things is just, I would just say, you know, look at applying to get into the industry. Maybe you can't get ownership right now out the gate. You know, I would say that this industry is going to be like liquor, where liquor has over 40,000 brands. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be the same thing in cannabis. So maybe right now in 2019 or 2020, you don't get your ownership in something, but 2021 is always going to be opportunity, because it's just going to be just like the liquor industry. You'll have craft beers, you'll have all these different things. So I would just tell, you know, all the entrepreneurs or people that want to try to figure out how to get in, is just go get a job, man. Get a job in the space. You know what I'm saying? You
guys are Vital Extracts operates in 4 states, right? California, Oregon, Michigan, and Colorado?
Yes.
So when you say like people are applying to do jobs, like the farming would be in Oregon, or the farming?
It would be in Oregon. So like, you know, so my farm is like where it's at. I don't think a lot of black people there anymore.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
Like that's just because of the geographic location. You know what I mean? But in Colorado, yes. California for sure. Michigan, 1,000%. You know
is that your newest one? Michigan's the newest one, right?
Michigan's our newest place, or whatever. So we're opening up our retail in the next 15 days. So I'm excited about that. That's our first retail operation. Yeah. And it goes back to like what I was telling you, is like I'm learning every part of the business. You know what I'm saying? So I know all the cultivation, greenhouse, outdoor, indoor. I know all the manufacturing methods. You know what I'm saying? Now we're going to dive into the retail part. And, you know, and to my point that I was just saying, like I wanted to do retail 5 years ago. I wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? But I built up to the point where now we're ready, and now we're opening up a spot. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna go from there.
So all right. So as far as scaling the business, right? Because you started. I don't know exactly like if you started with a dispensary. Like what was the first thing you actually started with?
I was a caregiver. So what that means is, you know, if we're all patients in Colorado or whatever, you would give me your paperwork, and I would grow, you know, anywhere from 12 to 16 plants for you, right? And when we first started, we only had 40 lights, and it was in a 12,000 square foot building, and all of our patients either had HIV or cancer or whatever. So we grew for them. So what we would do, we would grow it, we would give them a portion of it, and the rest of it we would sell to dispensaries.
So what's your business model as far as scaling? Because a lot of people, we had a restaurant owner on, and he actually was a great interview. And the thing is, everybody might not be in the restaurant business, but in my personal opinion, business is business. So no matter what, the key principles of scaling a business can be applied to anything, right? And obviously you've been able to, that's what one of the things I'm really impressed about, is that you've been able to scale your business in a very short period of time, right? And like you said, it's not like you didn't have a business background. So how were you able to do that? And like, what's your kind of business model, like broad range as far as like, looking at opportunities, scaling, like,
Yeah, so my biggest thing is like, my number one thing is to build a good brand. You know what I'm saying? I feel like once the brand is strong enough, we can take the brand anywhere. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple examples of other brands that have sold to Canadian LPs and different things like that. They don't own any of the supply chain. All they do is have a brand. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to do is vertically integrate my brand. It gives it more value. You know what I'm saying? What I've learned is that, nobody is, like, ain't nobody gonna treat your car the way you treat your car. This is your car. Right? They get in there and drop something, it ain't the same. If you get in there, you know what I'm saying? It's that's just life. That's just how I've just realized that people do things. So, for us, the reason why we get cultivation in every city is because we have a Viola way that we do things, the way that we grow, the way the end product. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why, for me, we continue to go state by state and acquire these licenses so that every time someone opens up a Viola package, they get an experience. You know what I'm saying? And we control the experience because we control the supply chain.
So the Harrington group, right? It has 3 things under the umbrella. You have Viola extracts. You got is it baby butter?
It's just Viola. Yeah. Butter Baby.
Butter Baby, I'm sorry.
And then Harrington Wellness, which is our replay.
Yeah, so there's like a difference. The Butter Baby is the edible component.
Yeah, the edible was fun. They just walked into it. So they make butters and coconut oil. They make olive oil. They make all kind of stuff that you can cook with. And their vision and their message is that, a lot of sick people can't eat edibles. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people that have cancer, what do they have? Diabetes. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be taking all this sweet stuff trying to get the benefits and you messing something else up. Yeah. So their mission is to be able to teach people how to dosage and medicate themselves through all natural foods.
Okay. And then the Harrington Wellness is that like the oils or the creams?
That's a CBD line. So right now on Harrington Wellness, our first product line is called Replay or whatever. And it's really catered towards recovery, pain relief, weekend warrior athletes. You know what I'm saying? We have cream, tincture, capsules, and we have this little recovery shot, almost like a 5-hour drink or whatever that we take that we have as well. And, that is expanding. So the way we actually, sell those products is online because we use hemp, straight hemp or whatever. Yeah. And we sell online, physical therapy clinics, small box jams. And then we also have a program where, almost like the Mary Kay or whatever. So we're allowing people from the community an opportunity to be a part of the brand and be able to sell the products.
That's dope. You know what I'm saying? I was reading when, I think 2012, you had the surgery on your knee.
Correct.
And the staph infection, and they were trying to treat you, and you were like, everything wasn't working. Right. And you were using a cream. Yep. And I was like, huh? And then when I kept reading, I'm like, oh, okay. And then from there, then you started hearing more guys, Steve Kerr, right? I'm going to start using it. And then you had this meeting with David Stern that changed. That's a game changer.
Yeah, it was a game changer, man. That story was crazy, man. Like, I seen him at this thing called the Milking Conference, which is a conference they hold here in LA. I think it's like $4,500 a ticket just to come for 3 days and just kind of learn about all different industries or whatever. And he was on a panel talking about the effect of esports on like the NBA, NFL, because the esports guys were saying like it's gonna trump live sports. You know what I'm saying? And he was on there and he was just talking, David's very witty, you know what I'm saying? So he was up there talking circles around a lot of people up there. Him, Robert Kraft was up there, the guy from Univision or whatever. So after they got done, I just went up to him and was like, David, what's up, man? And, his mind is crazy. He remembers everything, bro. Like, you got to think about, he's seen over, 2,000 players come through the league. And when he saw me, it's not like I was LeBron or somebody. The first thing he said was, how's your knee?
Oh, wow.
My knee surgery. You know what I'm saying? I never ever sat and talked with him about it, ever. You know what I'm saying? He's just sharp like that. So we started talking, and that was my way of telling him, like, yeah, actually, my knee okay. I actually use cannabis, blah, 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 blah.
I can imagine his face.
And then I started telling him what I was doing, and he was just saying, I hope you don't smoke all the product. He was just real funny about it. I was like, David, when you get a chance, I want to sit and talk with you about a couple of things. And, it took me like 7 months to set up my first meeting with him or whatever. But he's so busy, I had like a 30-minute time slot to talk to him, right? Yeah, like the lady from that was running the Sacramento Kings was meeting after, and we was in it for an hour and a half. He was that interested in everything that I was telling him. You know what I'm saying? Then he's like, let's have another meeting. We met again. And then the third time I met with him, I just asked him, I said, you mind if I just like interview you on TV?
Yeah, that was dope. I watched that.
And he said yes. And you know, when I had that, it was so funny because, you know, he's an attorney, so it's kind of hard trying to like trick him, right? And you know, he's very calculated. He's not going to say nothing he don't mean. So when I was going through all the questions with Maverick Carter or whatever, because, you know, Uninterrupted had helped me put that together, we was trying to figure out ways to kind of walk him down the road to say, like, the league should just consider cannabis use. And literally my second question, bro, he said that. Like, he was just like, yeah, after talking to you, I think they really should reevaluate the policies and this, that, and the third. So I'm looking at everybody off camera like, what else we going to talk about? Where we go there? What else we going to talk about? You know what I'm saying? But now it was cool, man. And a lot of people always say, how much ownership did you give him in your company? You give him nothing. You know what I'm saying? He really believed it.
That conversation could change, like, the way leagues look at it now. Like that, I feel like that's super important.
No, I think it's uphill. You kind of know, like, okay, the tide is turning, right? So anybody that is intelligent, it's a fight that's not worth fighting, right? Even if you're not pro marijuana, you don't have to be pro marijuana or use it yourself, but it's really hard to be totally against it at this point because it's a battle that eventually you're not going to win that battle, right? So I think that when you see David Stern and these other guys, you know, they're obviously intelligent people and they want to be on the right side of history.
You got to remember, man, I swear, bro, like, you know, it was so funny. When I first got done, man, I was so scared to tell people what I was doing, right? Just thinking of, like, how people would react, right? And, I mean, since I was retired, I've been offered NBA jobs, become a coach. You know what I'm saying? I've been offered TV jobs. Like, people, I'm not saying that they don't care, but it's like they're starting to come around to realizing, like, all the pharmaceutical stuff we're using, dog, like, that's the real dangerous stuff. It's we can sit here right now on camera and smoke for the next 2 weeks straight. I mean, back to back. We can eat edibles. We're going to fall asleep.
We're going to pass out first.
But I guarantee we won't die.
Right.
There's 5 pills. There's pills out here in the world that they're giving people that they give a bottle of 60, and you could take 5 of them and get in the hands of a child. Anything like that. They take 5 and they're dead. Right. So how do you compare the two? Right. It don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that people are starting to realize, like, wake up, dog. We're not saying that everybody should smoke. We're not saying any of that. All we're saying is that it's an alternative way for people to medicate themselves without the highly addictive and the dangerous pharmaceutical drugs that are being offered. You know what I mean? We look at these commercials and it's like, you know, people are skipping and this, that, and the third, and then it's into the commercials like side effects, internal bleeding.
And they're still skipping on the beach.
Right, and they're still skipping. I'm like, that don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, my whole thing is I just feel like, man, sometimes, man, it's just like common sense is not always common. You know, but, you know, the reason why I like the platform that I have is that, you know, when I go to these seminars and it's these doctors up there talking about phytocannabinoids and this, that, and the third, like, you're talking to people that have no idea what you're talking about.
You got to talk to their language.
You know what I'm saying? You got to talk in their language, and that's what I've been able to do with other athletes and other entertainers that are stepping out and being advocates. I think that we are starting to humanize the plant and the whole process in general.